Yes, it is. Welcome to SportsCenter. He's Brian Custer. I'm Christina Alexander. Preseason football rolls on, and so does a clock on several QBs trying to get ready for the NFL.
Yeah, speaking of QBs getting ready, how about the Browns? They have announced Joe Flacco is ready to be their starter this season. How's the rest of that QB depth chart look like? More on that later in the show, because new on SportsCenter. Hey, take a look at this, who was finally on the practice field for the Rams today. Matthew Stafford. Rams' 37-year-old quarterback's been dealing with that disc issue in his back. It's prevented him from doing anything during training camp. Today, first time in pads and participating in practice with the team. Let's bring in our Los Angeles Rams reporter, Sarah Barshop. And Sarah, I see you there at Rams practice. What did you actually see Matt Stafford do today at practice?
Brian, Rams fans can rest easy because for the first time during training camp, I watched Matthew Stafford throw footballs. He was out on the practice field. He started by taking snaps and warming up with tight end Tyler Higbee. He progressed to individual throws, which we saw a pretty long range from him. And then he took part in team practice. Again, not anything we've seen. And I saw him throw a pass to Devontae Adams, a newcomer wide receiver, for the first time in pads. And then one good thing, I watched Sean McVay, his head coach, walk over to Matthew Stafford, tap him on the head, check in with him, and walk away with a big smile on his face.
Wow, this is all huge considering there was a lot of talk about whether or not he even actually worked out over the weekend. It was his first time actually practicing. We're about 3 weeks away from the start where they kick things off against the Texans. So what can we expect from Stafford now going forward to that opening day game?
Throughout this whole process, Sean McVay has been very clear that they will be flexible with Stafford's return. He said they'll take it one day at a time. And the big reason for that is because they know the most important thing is, like you said, having him ready for week 1 against the Texans.
A lot of Rams fans can rest easy. Matthew Stafford back on the practice field and throwing and practicing with the team. That's our Sarah Barshop with the latest. Thank you, Sarah.
Staying in the NFL with breaking news here on SportsCenter, the Browns have named Joe Flacco their Week 1 starter. Coach Kevin Stefanski going with the seasoned veteran at QB over rookie Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, who have each started one preseason game. Now, Flacco has not yet played this preseason, but has been slated to start the finale Saturday against the Rams. And with that, we welcome in our NFL analyst, Dan Orlovsky, the birthday boy today. Happy birthday, Dan. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, let's take it to your reaction to the Browns naming Flacco their QB1.
Yeah, I understand it. I would have gone with one of the rookies if I was Cleveland. Now, what Joe gives this football team with Kevin Stefanski is comfort and confidence. He's been around the NFL for an incredibly long period of time. A couple years ago, took this very similar football team to the playoffs, and he's very comfortable with operating Kevin Stefanski's offense. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, is now again their play caller, and it's a perfect marriage when it comes to Joe's skill set. The reason why I would have gone with one of the rookies was I kind of know who Joe is and what I'm going to get with Joe. They'll be a competitive and good football team. It doesn't answer anything of the future at that position for the Cleveland Browns, but at least that gives them confidence that they have a capable player at that position.
Yeah, I mean, they have quite the depth when it comes to their quarterback room here. But Dan, how do you see the rest of the Browns' depth chart playing out?
Yeah, QB2 becomes the fascinating question. Is it going to be Kenny Pickett, who's been around the NFL for a couple years? Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders, who was really good in his one start? Or was it going to be Dillon Gabriel, who's really good in his one start? So that's going to be the interesting part, is because at some point, Joe Flacco may struggle. He might get injured. It might be an opportunity for one of those rookies to step forward in the QB2 role. And so that will be the fascinating development, is once the depth chart comes out and they get into this regular season mode, who's going to be the second string quarterback and one play away from being the starting quarterback in Cleveland?
In the starting QB, we were just talking about it earlier. Did they make the right choice, Danny?
Yes, I think this is zero surprise to anybody that's followed the Browns this offseason. Joe Flacco is the seasoned veteran who's played a ton of football with a very good defense, a running game, and a revamped wide receiving core. They're just hoping they get stability. And what a coach is always going to lean to is the known versus the unknown. And I know it's going to be hard for people to understand, because they're like, well, some guys popped during the preseason and Shedeur looked great in a half of football. We already know what Joe Flacco can do. we're not 100% certain. I know it's great, but preseason football is different than regular season football. The good news is, for the Browns, I think you develop some depth behind Joe Flacco so that if it doesn't work out or if he gets hurt, they have plenty of options to turn to if he should struggle or if he gets hurt. So I think all of this is pretty much what I expected and most people expected from Kevin Stefanski from this announcement was all along going to be Joe Flacco.
There's a stat coming out from Heath Cummings right now. Joe Flacco, last 17 starts in the NFL, 4,755 yards and 32 touchdowns.
That's pretty impressive.
I gotta confirm that, but if those numbers are correct.
How far back do you have to go for him to start 17 games?
Starts,
that may be a while back, but the guy can sling it. You know, and the way that, so I think you hear 40-year-old quarterback, we have to readjust our minds. We already saw Brady play into his 40s. The NFL is a different product now. It's not as taxing on your body, especially as a quarterback. How much they protect you and you're not allowed to get hit. It's not that intimidating to be 40 years old and go against all these young guys when you don't have to worry about guys ripping your head off.
He spoke with our Aditi Kinkambala a few weeks ago, and he said, I feel like I still have a lot to bring. I don't want to be a backup. I want to play football. So what is the expectation now that the Browns have? How many games are we looking at that you could see them potentially going out there and winning?
I think they could be a 9 or a 10-win team. I mean, and I do like the makeup of this team. I think the style of play of what they want to do offensively suits Joe Flacco well. I think it's one of the reasons that Shedeur excelled in the preseason because it's more of a play-action, pocket passer type of system, which I think fits Flacco to a T. I know they've got to figure out Quinshon Judkins and some of the issues that are going on with him, but I really like Dylan Sampson, their pick that they took a little bit later to possibly step in and fill a void in the backfield for them. So, and then we got to think about what they did this offseason too with Myles Garrett, paying him. Their defense, I think, is going to be one of the things for them to hang their hat on. Mason Graham, one of the rookie first-round picks that they brought in there, is a player that potentially could wreak some havoc. So I think it is more of a traditional offensive style where you're taking some play-action shots down the field, trying to run the football, and playing really good, aggressive defense.
So what does this mean for the QB room? Okay, so we got now Kenny Pickett, we have Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders all like sitting in the wings. Do we keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster?
No, I don't think so. That is just, there's too many. It's a numbers game, and you don't really have that luxury of being able to keep 4. I think Kenny Pickett's probably the odd man out. Do they try to move him? But very rarely do you see a team move on from their drafted young quarterbacks, whether it's a 3rd rounder or a 5th rounder, which is Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, draft slots. So I think they probably go with the youth movement behind Flacco, which again is a great opportunity for those young players. Kenny Pickett, I'm a little bit disappointed, I'm sure he is either, that he couldn't take over that job. He is somebody who was there earlier, could have competed, had an equal footing with Joe Flacco. I know he's been banged up a little bit, wasn't able to actually get on the field, but I just wonder if this might have been his last opportunity to be that starter in the NFL, and it came up just short, and I wonder if he's the odd man out of this room.
All right, Danny Cannell with this breaking news. Joe Flacco is going to be your starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Danny, thanks for your time.
You got it.
Of course, we have all the breaking news right here on CBS Sports HQ. Every hit, every highlight, all the breaking news. Scan that QR code and watch us streaming free 24/7. On the other side of this break, we're going to have more on the breaking news out of the NFL. The Browns naming Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback. Aditi Kinkambala, who's been very tight with this team. She's going to join us next.